Hey guys, Rusty, I really hope you enjoyed this video. Cool, hey? Hey guys, Rusty over here, and today I'm going to be showing you how to solo Mythic Gul'dan in the Nighthold, which has a chance to drop the Hellfire Infernal mount. Now, I just want to say this right away, this is a difficult boss fight with a very big DPS check, and currently not all classes are going to be able to do this, at least until the next expansion. Demon Hunters can, I'm pretty sure Ret Pallies and Mages can, I'm not 100% on those, I think they can, and I know DKs can. Now, I'm going to spend some time going over my talents and my gear. I'll leave a timestamp either down below or some point in the video if you want to skip right to the guide. Now, as Demon Hunter talents you want to take are Demonic Appetite, Immolation Aura, Trail of Ruins, Soul Rending, Unleash Power doesn't matter, First Blood, as well as Demonic. Now, in terms of gear, I did this around 448 item level with the Twisted Appendages Corruption effect that spawns a Tentacle and Mind Flays. However, the most important piece of gear you need is that Ashvane's Razor Coral. It's very important, you do need that, even if it's just an LFR version. I'll go over why later on, but that is a very important item to have. So, let's get right into the boss fight. You're going to start off with Gul'dan, pull him, make sure you don't get knocked off the edge by just standing near him. Pop your Ashvane's Razor Coral to start spawning stacks, or start stacking up the trinket. Pop your extra action button right away, and he's going to hit you with the Bonds of Fel. Just run out of the Bonds of Fel whenever you cast that to break it, so you don't keep taking the ticking damage. Now, what you're going to want to do with your Ashvane's Razor Coral is continuously stack that up by very slowly DPSing down the boss by using a very weak hitting ability on him. For example, I'm just using Demon's Bite as a Demon Hunter. So whatever your weakest hitting ability is that will stack Ashvane's Razor Coral, make sure you go ahead and use that on the boss, and only that on the boss, to slowly DPS him. Now, eventually, he is going to spawn that Trapper. Just go ahead and kill him off. You're also going to make sure you kill off those Eyes of Gul'dan, as they will eventually duplicate. Now, the main ability that can kill you in Phase 1 is this Empowered Bonds of Fel. So, it's Empowered Bonds of Fel, make sure you run out of it. However, the Empowered version will also knock you back a pretty fair distance. So, be safe. I'd stand in the middle and just basically face your back towards this an area where you will not get knocked off the platform. That's really the only way you die in Phase 1. Now, he's also going to throw some liquid hellfire at you. When he does this, he's going to spawn this green circle on the ground, which essentially just does unavoidable damage, reduced by distance. However, it doesn't do that much damage, so you don't have to bother moving. Again, just make sure you're killing off these Eyes of Gul'dan, because after they're done casting Eye of Gul'dan, they'll cast an ability called Duplicate, which what's what the ability called. It will duplicate the eyes, essentially spawning an infinite amount of eyes that will eventually overwhelm you. So the eyes you do want to kill off. So again, throughout the whole phase, just make sure you're using your weak hitting abilities. You want to keep stacking up Ashvane's Razor Coral. You can see it's at 14 stacks right now, by very slowly DPSing the boss down. Now, eventually, he will empower the liquid hellfire, and what this will do when it lands, it'll just leave this patch of fire on the ground. I choose to stack them up. This is really unnecessary. I'm just really OCD, and it triggers me when they're not stacked. So go ahead and stack them up, and then obviously, don't stand in the fire. That one's fairly simple. Now, they're pretty much just to summarize Phase 1 for you guys. Break the Bonds of Fel, don't get knocked off by the Empowered Bonds of Fel, kill the Eyes of Gul'dan, kill any of the big ads that spawn. By the way, if you take too long in this phase, the second big ad will spawn, it's a Fel Lord. No big deal if that happens, you just go ahead and kill him off. And again, just make sure you slowly DPS the boss down by using a weak hitting ability, for example, Demon's Bite on the Demon Hunter. And again, the purpose of that is to slowly stack up your Ashvane's Razor Coral. Now, when the boss hits 50%, he's going to hop in the middle there. He's going to go into his pink bubble. Then he'll transition into Phase 2. He'll turn big and red, and he's going to start sucking you off or blowing you back off the platform with the winds. Just push against the winds, and as long as you're not by the edge when it starts, you should be okay to run against it, especially on a Demon Hunter. Now, in Phase 2, he's going to spawn Flames of Sargeras. Simple, it's going to be swirlies on the ground that will eventually just leave patches of fire. Don't stand in the fire. By the way, that purple eye is from the Corruption effect. If you have that, don't stand in it, but chances are you might not even have that. Now, the eyes will be Empowered Eyes of Gul'dan, which actually just makes it easier now, since it's just one eye you have to kill instead of 4 or 5 or 6. I think it's like 6 on Mythic. I think it was. So just kill the single Empowered Eye of Gul'dan, and just like in Phase 1, you want to very slowly DPS the boss down using a very weak hitting ability. Now, once the boss is Black Harvest, he's going to AoE, but all those souls in the middle of the room, if you don't soak them, they're going to come down and just do some extra damage. However, the damage is not that bad, so I recommend not even bother soaking in the middle, because if you soak them in the middle, you'll gain a dot for 3 minutes that stacks. It's not worth it. Now, also in Phase 2, the boss is going to cast Storm of the Destroyer, which is essentially just this big purple AoE that just does damage to you. However, again, the damage is not that bad, so I recommend just standing in it, slowly DPSing down the boss, and it will also clear any patches of fire on the ground. So again, Phase 2, kill the eyes, don't stand in the fire, don't soak the middle, and again, slowly DPS the boss down with a weak hitting ability, like your Demon's Bite. You ideally want anywhere between 35 and up stacks of Ashvane's Razor Coral when you go into the Demon Within phase or Phase 3. Speaking of that phase, I want to talk about that and how that works. So in that phase, he's going to apply a debuff to you, which I think is called like Parasitic Shadow Demon. Essentially, it's a debuff that spawns these ads, and these ads stun you and essentially apply a hard-hitting dot on you. If he applies this debuff the first time, you're pretty much going to die at with this gear right now. So what you could do as a demon hunter, when he's about to cast that, you could cast your Metamorphosis, and that will actually miss the ability. The ability will miss on you. I think paladins and mages can bubble and ice block. I think I'm not 100% on that. DKs can use their AMS and also their Icebound Fortitude. So in Phase 2, once the boss hits 10%, Khadgar is going to start summoning the Demon Within. Now, at this point, I then decide to use my scrolls and buff myself, because the reason why I didn't do this at the beginning is, again, you want to very slowly DPS the boss down. I should have done the same with the Flask, but now at this point, you want to buff yourself and get ready to absolutely annihilate the Demon Within. This is a very, very big DPS check. Now, also, I get the boss around 7 to 5% health. However, do not kill Gul'dan off. It is very important. If you kill him off too early, you're going to lose all your Ashvane's Coral stacks, which increases your crit, by the way, which will help you burst the boss. If you lose all your Ashvane's Coral stacks, you're screwed. Just restart again. Wipe, restart again. Once he hops in the air, the Demon Within will become attackable. Immediately start attacking him. Now, right before he casts that Parasitic Wound debuff, as you can see on DBM, immediately cast your Metamorphosis or whatever immunity you have. Bubble, Paladins, Mages, I think an Ice Block again, and then absolutely consume your Ashvane's Razor Coral stacks, pop Bloodlust, Potion, everything. You need to absolutely annihilate this boss. You have about anywhere from 30 seconds to a minute to kill this boss. Now, he's also going to use an ability called Soul Sever. This is going to basically make you immune to healing, since you're soloing this and you cannot get rid of that debuff, so you're immune to healing for the rest of the fight. Hence why you need to kill this boss before that Parasitic Wound debuff is applied to you again, since it's such a nasty dot on you. So you can see here, he definitely reapplied the Parasitic Wound. At this point, it is a race against the clock. When the debuff goes out and essentially it expires, ads are going to spawn, but they'll stun you, and they'll go back. They'll reach you, they'll chase after you, they'll go back in you, and essentially reapply the dot. Hence why you gotta absolutely skip that first application of the debuff and kill him before the second application of the debuff kills you. You can see here, it was a very, very close kill. I think I had about 5% health remaining, and then I freaked the hell out because I was not expecting to get that kill there. And I didn't get them out because I already had it, so who cares? Anyways, guys, again, this is a very, very difficult boss to do right now. I think I did this, again, around 448 item level. You want my recommendation? Wait until the next expansion to solo this boss. It is not worth it to solo this boss every single week for the mount. However, if you want to do it, if you have a demon hunter, again, I think paladins and mages can do it. I'm not 100% sure on that. Don't quote me on that. I've read online of a DK doing it because they could use their AMS and also their Icebound Fortitude to, I believe, to remove the stun from the Parasitic Shadow Demons and might actually remove the debuff. But again, don't quote me on that. The only one I know 100% sure that can do it is, of course, the Havoc Demon Hunter with enough gear and enough burst damage. And just a reminder, even if it's an LFR version of the Ashvane's Razor Coral, use it. Anyways, guys, I hope this guide helped you. I hope you enjoyed watching it. Thank you very much for watching. And remember, as always, the most important part of every single video, Halo 3 was the best Halo. Halo 2 and Reach were really good, but 3 was the best. Thank you very much, guys. Bye-bye.